It started with a strategy, a long-term vision, decades in the making. While the world was watching China's economy grow, something else was happening behind the scenes. China wasn't just building skyscrapers, highways, and high-speed rail. It was building a military-industrial machine, one that could challenge, even surpass, US power. So, how did China go from a regional force to a global military superpower? And more importantly, what does this mean for the future of the world? Let's break it down. To understand China's military rise, we need to go back to the 1990s. At the time, China's military was outdated. Old Soviet-era equipment, poor logistics, weak naval power, the US unmatched, the world's dominant military force, a global superpower. Then came the wake-up call. In 1996, during the Taiwan Strait crisis, the US sent 2 aircraft carriers near Taiwan. China, helpless, no response, no deterrence. That moment changed everything. Beijing realized if they wanted to be taken seriously, they needed a modern military, so they did something radical. They poured money, resources, and technology into a full-scale military transformation. And in just 3 decades, they went from a second-rate power to a global force. But how? How did China leapfrog decades of military development in such a short time? It wasn't just funding or technology transfers. It was a calculated strategic transformation. China didn't just copy the US military model. They studied it, dissected it, and then created something different. They focused on 3 key areas. First, advanced weaponry. China's military isn't just big, it's high-tech. They developed hypersonic missiles that travel over 5 times the speed of sound, missiles that can bypass US missile defenses. They built stealth fighter jets, like the J-20, China's answer to the American F-35. They invested in AI-driven drones, electronic warfare, and space-based military capabilities. And let's not forget cyber warfare. China has one of the most sophisticated cyber units in the world, capable of hacking, spying, and disrupting foreign networks. This isn't just about warfare. This is about control. Second, naval expansion. In the 1990s, China's navy was weak, mostly coastal defense, no blue water capability. Today, they have the world's largest navy, more ships than the US aircraft carriers, destroyers, submarines, all designed to project power beyond Asia, and they're not stopping. By 2049, the 100th anniversary of Communist China, they plan to have a navy that can dominate the Pacific. They're building artificial islands, military bases, missile installations. They're expanding into the Indian Ocean, the Arctic, even the Atlantic. Third, military-industrial self-sufficiency. For decades, China depended on Russia for advanced weapons. Not anymore. Now, they build their own fighter jets, their own tanks, their own missiles. They don't just produce military hardware, they export it. Countries around the world, Pakistan, Egypt, and even Saudi Arabia, are buying Chinese weapons. China isn't just a military power, it's becoming a military supplier. That means influence, leverage, and strategic alliances. China's military rise isn't just about weapons and ships. It's about power, influence, strategy. They're expanding their military presence beyond Asia. They've built a military base in Djibouti, Africa. They've increased patrols in the South China Sea, claiming islands, building military bases on artificial reefs. And their next move? A global military network. They're making deals, setting up partnerships, building alliances. They're securing strategic ports, gaining influence in developing nations, extending their reach. They want to challenge US dominance worldwide, and Washington knows it. But is the US ready? So how is America responding? Right now, it's a mix of concern and preparation. The US is strengthening alliances in Asia, Japan, South Korea, Australia, the Philippines. They're sending more troops, more ships, more weapons. They're increasing defense spending, developing new technologies, strengthening cyber defenses. But here's the question, is it enough? Because China isn't just playing defense, They're playing to win, and they're doing it with precision. Every move is calculated. Every strategy is long-term. This isn't just a military expansion. This is a global power shift. The next 20 years will determine the balance of global power. Will China overtake the US as the dominant military force? Or will the US maintain its position? One thing is certain, the military race is on, and the world is watching. But here's the bigger question. What happens next? Will this lead to a Cold War 2.0, a military standoff, or something even more dangerous, an open conflict? A war for dominance? A battle for the future of global power? No one knows for sure. But one thing is clear. This isn't just about China versus the US. It's about the future of the world order. And we'll be here, breaking it down, analyzing every move, keeping you informed. If you found this video insightful, if you want to stay ahead of the game, if you want to understand the power shifts shaping our world, subscribe now, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to see it, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update, because the future is unfolding and you need to be ready.